Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great week. Today I'm going to do a short little update video. I got to kind of do it quick because the sun is getting ready to set there, as you can see by the shadows behind me. In the last video I showed some of the water that we had down on the ground and whatnot after during the rainstorm. So today's a great positive update for after the rainstorm. We didn't have any damage. I know a lot of folks in Arizona did have damage to their homes and their property, and our thoughts and prayers go out to them. So I wanted to make a positive video today and show you guys what a little bit of awesome looks like after a really bad storm. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it, and I'll show you guys what's going on. I'll tell you first what I did. So this tank was filled all the way to the top, and I took my electric pump out here and I pumped out the water into the top off tank so I could utilize some of the free rain. I know Jeff in San Diego, he's got a killer rain catchment system over in his channel. I'll put a link down to his channel at the bottom. He's got some really good stuff too. I would love to do more of that, but the reason I had to pump out some of the water, if you look here at the siphon here, the water was so high that when the siphon activated, the water wasn't creating a lot of oxygen. So the way it is now, it's above the water, so it acts like a waterfall, and it does a lot of splashing and it adds oxygen to the water. Now I don't know if it was bothering the fish or not, because they seem fine. They're just doing what fish do. They eat and poop, and the bigger ones chase each other around sometimes. They're being cordial right now because the water temperature has gotten down. It's quite a bit cooler. But the goldfish are doing really good. They're very happy. Some of them started pairing up, and they hang out right next to each other. So they're probably getting ready to reproduce. My last video, one of my subscribers had mentioned that the rain will cause them to want to spawn. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye on these guys, and we'll record as much of that as we can, and I'll share that with you as we go. And I left the top on this off so that the plants could grow really well. The basil is doing very good up here, and this is what I feed the fish out here. Every day I grab some of this and throw it in there. As you can see, I pulled off almost all the tops, so there's not a lot of tops on here. There's one right there. We'll get rid of that one. I just pinch them off and throw them in the water, and the fish eat that. And then here's the cuttings that I took last week and placed in here. They are all growing really well. And then the radishes are doing quite well here. I got them nice and spaced out. Lots of bugs out right now after the rainstorm. Kind of trying to fly in my ear and bother me, but that's what they do. And we don't have enough power right now because of the shade. The sun's not hitting the solar panel, but you can hear it. It's barely being touched by the sun, and it's still trying to work. Pretty amazing. I did have to take that out and clean it, and that was fun. I should have made a video of that, because I had to actually climb down inside here with my shorts on and get down underneath and not drop my phone in the water. I had to go down there and pull the pump out, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a butter container around the pump now. What was happening is some of the fibers from the vegetables were getting caught in the impeller, so I made a little filtration system so that it doesn't happen as often, because it wasn't very easy to get that out. In hindsight, I would design this differently, but it is what it is for now. So the next one I'll put a little bit more thought into it, because I am just a novice at kind of tinkering back here, even though some of you would say I'm not giving myself enough credit, and I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. And we'll check out some of these guys. These guys are checking us out, looking up. Probably a familiar scene for Jeff also. I'm going to nickname you Jeff Frog because that just sounds cool, and I like the frog logo you have on your website. So Jeff Frog. We're going to go check these guys out here, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to come up and look at us. Try to bite my finger. Ow! No, I'm just kidding. It didn't hurt. Here, I got some food set up over here. Let's see if we can get them to eat. No, they're totally not hungry. I fed them a little while ago. Oh, yep, there they go. Now they're hitting it. That's proof that they eat vegetables. They just pulled it out of my hand. So that is some of the bok choy that I grew in the garden. And then I have some basil here too. They eat this too. So I just throw a little bit in there. Every morning I throw a handful in each tank and they eat that. And then I've got another one for this side. These guys are not very social. They don't come up and hang out as often. Oh, yeah, they do. Never mind. They just took that right out of my hand. So we'll give them some basil as well. These guys are going to taste fantastic when they're ready to harvest. Don't tell them that. And then we'll check out the tomatoes before the sun goes down. This one tomato plant only looks bad because I forgot it and I left it on the patio over there while I was hardening it off. So there's nothing wrong with what's going on out here. It was just my neglecting it because this time of year we get quite busy where I work. And if you go to concerts, you'll know because there's a lot of outdoor concerts here after summertime because it's too doggone warm. So we got our big Zacks. I've been pulling off all the suckers. Here's a really freaky weird one. Okay, so normally it's a branch, a sucker, and then a branch with flowers on it. Well, on this one it's got 3 branches with flowers in a row. And then if we look up here on the top of this one, if it'll focus, I don't know what's going on there. It's twisting up and it's growing out another plant. It's really strange. Or just like a huge clump of flowers, but we'll see what happens with that. Here's another big Zack, it's doing really good, also covered in flowers. This one as well, so I've got 3 big Zacks, and then I've got these smaller plants here. These are all indeterminate, and then this one is a determinate. So this one will only grow this big, it'll put off all of its fruit all at once, and then it'll stop producing. So I don't pull the suckers off, only the suckers off of the other ones that are indeterminate. And our bell pepper, it's got tons and tons of flower pods and flowers in there. The bugs are driving me crazy right now. School of Aquaponics, one of his buddies on there, he's got a full body net that he wears, and I was making fun of him when he first started wearing that, but right now I would not mind having that because they're just attacking my legs off camera, trying to fly in my ear and my face. So we've got our cabbage, cauliflower, cauliflower, cabbage, cauliflower, 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 and then we've got our jalapenos. I'm gonna have way too many jalapenos since I live on my own, so I don't eat that many jalapenos, but I'll be sharing those with my friends. Those of you that know me personally, you'll be getting some of those, and any other vegetables that I grow too much of and can't eat on my own. And then we've got our last cantaloupe here. I don't know if it's going to even produce anything. We'll have to wait and see. It's not warm out anymore, thank goodness, but you can see the white flies. They're just everywhere. And then we got our corn. Got knocked around a little bit, but a lot of it's starting to produce the silk. And then tassels. I remembered both names this time. I always say I forget that. So we got lots of tassels. And then we've got our basil. This is one of the main plants that I use, that I started with for feeding the fish. So every day I come out here and grab a handful of this and throw it in the fish tanks. And then I'll grab some of this, which you saw earlier. They yanked it out of my hand. And then we've got a lot of eggplants. They're doing really well. Also covered in white flies. But you know, what can you do? Mother Nature does what she does, and I need to do this without any toxic chemicals. And I've noticed that the neem oil spray doesn't work that well. It'll last for a day or two, and then they just come right back. Especially after it rains, it seems like. I get rid of the ants using diatomaceous earth. I almost said tenacious D. But that usually takes care of them. But my luck, it always rains right afterwards, and then the ants come right back. They're already down here. Trying to plant aphids. See them? There's already aphids all over this leaf. But that's alright. I figure if I plant enough of them, there's more for me than there is for them, but you know, we'll see what happens. And then our sump tank over here, 375 gallons, is full all the way. Well, all the way to the full point. Cover it back up so the mosquitoes don't get out and bite my legs even any more than they already are. And I think that will be it for today because it's getting too dark, and I'm not sure how the video will turn out once it gets darker. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, pop those in at the bottom. Hit that like button, subscribe, click the bell button next to subscribe, and you'll get a notification each time I upload another video if you're interested in following along. And if you're interested in supporting the channel and helping me grow and evolve, I do have a Patreon account. I'll post the link in the bottom. And since I'm at home right now, I will actually do that. I noticed in my last video I said that and I didn't post anything in the link, so sometimes I get a little busy and I forget. So thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, keep building.